Ever wondered where the products you buy actually come from? Like, who's the mastermind behind that sleek smartphone in your hand or the delicious snack in your pantry? You see these items on store shelves or online marketplaces, but the journey from raw materials to your shopping cart is often more complex than you might think. Today, we're diving into that fascinating supply chain and tackling a question that might have crossed your mind. What exactly is the difference between a jobber and a manufacturer? Now, you might have heard these terms floating around, especially if you're involved in any kind of business or even just a keen observer of how things get made and sold. They both play crucial roles in getting goods to consumers, but their functions, their responsibilities, and their overall impact on the economy are quite distinct. Think of it like a relay race. Different players take the baton at different stages, each with a specific task to complete. To really understand the difference, let's first paint a picture of the typical product life cycle. It usually begins with raw materials, things like metals, plastics, fabrics, or agricultural produce. These are extracted or harvested. Then comes the crucial stage of transformation, where these raw materials are turned into finished goods. This is where our first key player often comes in: the manufacturer. A manufacturer, at its core, is the entity that makes the product. They are the ones with the factories, the machinery, the specialized labor, and the technical know-how to take those raw materials and assemble, process, or otherwise create the final product. Think of a car company assembling vehicles from various components, a food processing plant turning grains into cereal, or a textile mill weaving fibers into fabric. These are all examples of manufacturers in action. Manufacturers often invest heavily in research and development to design new products or improve existing ones. They manage complex production processes, ensuring quality control and efficiency. They also deal with sourcing raw materials, managing inventory, and often navigating complex regulations and compliance standards. The scale of their operations can vary greatly, from small artisanal workshops to massive multinational corporations with sprawling production facilities across the globe. Now, where does the jobber fit into this picture? Well, typically, the jobber doesn't actually make anything. Instead, they operate further down the supply chain. A jobber is essentially a type of intermediary, a reseller who purchases goods from manufacturers or sometimes other distributors, and then sells them to retailers or other businesses. You can think of them as a link in the chain that helps to get the manufactured products from the factory floor to the stores where consumers can buy them. Jobbers often specialize in a particular type of product or industry. For example, you might have a jobber who focuses on automotive parts, buying them in bulk from various manufacturers and then selling them to local auto repair shops. Or there could be a jobber who deals in wholesale food items, purchasing large quantities from food producers and then supplying them to restaurants or smaller grocery stores. The key difference here is the act of creation. The manufacturer is involved in the physical production of the goods, while the jobber is involved in the distribution and sale of goods that have already been manufactured. Let's delve a bit deeper into the specific roles and responsibilities of each. Manufacturers are concerned with production, overseeing the entire manufacturing process, from sourcing materials to final assembly and packaging. Quality control, ensuring that the products meet certain standards and are free from defects. Innovation, developing new products and improving existing ones through research and development. Supply chain management, managing the flow of materials and components into their production facilities. Branding and marketing, often involved in establishing their brand identity and marketing their products to wholesalers, retailers, or even directly to consumers. Regulatory compliance, adhering to various industry regulations and safety standards. Jobbers, on the other hand, focus on procurement, identifying and purchasing goods from manufacturers at wholesale prices. Warehousing and inventory management, storing large quantities of goods and managing their inventory levels. Sales and distribution, selling the goods to retailers or other businesses and arranging for their delivery. Market knowledge, understanding market trends and the needs of their customer base, retailers, etc. Customer service, providing support and building relationships with their clients. Financing, often extending credit to their customers, managing accounts receivable. Think about the complexities involved. A single product, like a simple t-shirt, might go through several stages. A cotton farmer grows the raw material. A textile mill manufactures the fabric. A clothing company designs and cuts the fabric, then assembles the t-shirt. This is the manufacturer in this context. Now, a jobber might buy thousands of these t-shirts from the clothing company and then sell them in smaller quantities to various retail stores, each with different needs in terms of sizes, colors, and quantities. The retail stores then sell the individual t-shirts to us, the consumers. The jobber adds value by providing a crucial link between the large-scale production of the manufacturer and the diverse needs of retailers. They handle the logistics of breaking down bulk shipments, managing inventory, and providing sales support, which can be more efficient and cost-effective for both the manufacturer and the retailer. Consider a small boutique clothing store. It's unlikely they would want to place massive orders directly with dozens of different clothing manufacturers. It would be a logistical nightmare to manage all those relationships, shipments, and invoices. Instead, they can rely on a jobber who specializes in fashion apparel, offering a curated selection of clothing from various manufacturers, allowing the boutique owner to place a single order for a variety of items. Similarly, a manufacturer might not have the resources or the desire to manage relationships with thousands of small retailers across a wide geographic area. It's often more efficient for them to sell in bulk to a smaller number of jobbers who then handle the distribution to the retail level. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.